if you want to have a healthy relationship with someone with an avoidant attachment style, it's important to understand the importance of emotional connection, but more importantly, especially for avoidant, the importance of not having had emotional connection with their primary attachment figure, because this will inform on how we need to communicate, navigate, behave with our partner in order for us to have a healthy connection and perhaps repairing those attachment wounds. I'll explain everything after the jingle. So this video is part of the series of videos about studies. I will put some of those studies on my website in the Love Lab section. Very interesting study from the psychologist Harlow, who studied baby monkeys. And he wanted to assess what was more important, the affection of a mom or food. And what happened is that baby monkeys consistently preferred mothers over food sources. What it means is that for babies, the emotional comfort outweighed by far survival needs. We often talk about the Maslow pyramid, and in that case, at the base of the pyramid, we have this emotional connection. Food, shelter, and emotional needs. And so this tells us that attachment is more than just survival. It's at the same level. And the thing is, this element of safety will shape our health, but also, more importantly, your beliefs around love. Because if you don't have, what you're going to do, and we discuss in a second what the impact, is you're going to shape the world in a certain way. It is going to be very hard for you to engage and feel happy in a relationship. So what happens is that monkeys would cling to soft mothers when they're scared. It's very similar to the Mary Henslow experiment when they look at kids after they're separated from their mother and how they manage to soothe and regulate their emotions afterwards. So what happens is touch and warmth would reduce the stress, and the lack of affection will lead to emotional damage. So what happens is that we crave safety. Very often, it's not very often, it's all the time, when people have a hard time in their relationship or when they break up, it's not so much about feelings, it's about the sense of safety. And the problem when you have anxious avoidant dynamic is that your sense of safety, your definition of safety will be fundamentally different. For an avoidant partner, the sense of safety is I'm on my own, I have my space. For an anxious person, the sense of safety, I need to be reassured. I want you to be around. Two opposite forces, and that's why you have this anxious avoidant trap. One will reinforce the other one. The problem is, obviously, as I said, emotional connection is essential. So what happens with avoidant? What's going on in their mind? What's part of their construct? And that's the importance, the point of this study is not to show you about the study with monkeys, is like, what can we learn from it? The effect of neglect on monkeys, they become anxious and withdrawn. They isolate themselves from the group. And being part of the group is really key amongst monkeys. And so they have social disconnection. They struggle to bond when they're adult. Reminds me something. And also the proof that early on, those dynamics in childhood can predict behaviors in adulthood. So if you know more about your childhood or about your partner's childhood, you can try to see the connection, bridge the dots, and explain why they behave or why you behave in a certain way. And surprisingly enough, because monkeys are social animals like us, we mirror these patterns in relationship. So it's fascinating to see, like, if we do the experiment with monkeys, we separate the mums, we show them a certain way of managing interactions with their primary attachment figure, with their mum. As adults, they behave differently. So the learning here is that love is not a luxury, it's a need. And if you feel bad or guilty that you can't be single or that you have a hard time being on your own, that's not, that's normal. It would be actually strange that you didn't feel this need. And what happens is creating that secure attachment will create emotional resilience. That's the key. Right? That's what I've worked on so hard for many years. That's what I help my clients do. And so the neglect can lead to anxious, sometimes avoidant, and sometimes anxious behaviors. So the point is to build that emotional safety. You can do it as an adult, finding the right support system, the right therapist, the right group to enable you to have healthy connections. Because relationship, whether you want to get back with your ex, whether you want to find the right partner, always thrive on trust, on comfort, and this sense of safety. My view is that we can heal through connection. Maybe your partner, maybe your ex is not the right person to do that, but it's a question of finding that security in the relationship. As I said, we can unlearn emotional neglect. We can work, and again, now it's been studied for many years, and there are robust protocols, that's the one I used with my clients, on how we can reprogram, in a way, what we've learned as kids. And one way we can reinforce this is having healthy bonds. So in an ideal world, you would want to be with someone secure if you have an insecure attachment style, because it's by being with someone secure that you will also facilitate this path. It's interesting because the other day I was at a wedding, and every time I was at a wedding, someone would talk to me about their love life every time. And this friend was telling me, it was very interesting. She told me, I met that guy. I was very anxious in my relationships. And one day I met that guy who was secure. And that was a repairing relationship. She didn't end up with that guy. They stayed for a year and a half. He was younger than her. But she told me, like, that was strange for me. He would reply to my text. He would tell me what he thought. He was clear about his expectations. So, for instance, he didn't necessarily want to commit. He was young. She was 10 years older than him. But it felt strange, and she had to fight her demons of pushing him away because he was nice. And because she had the right support, she was seeing a therapist and working on herself, her therapist told her, no, that's the right way, that's the secure way. Give him, don't push him back, right? Don't protest. That's the right way. So again, it's by being aware of how we process things, being aware of how we value things, trying to challenge the way we do things. It's something we can do. And some relationships will make it harder. Some relationship will actually enhance this. And so for me, it's not because I'm a therapist or because I'm French. I feel that love is the foundation of that emotional well-being. So what you need to thrive for is consistency. So if you're trying to get back, for instance, with someone avoidant, and you don't see any form of consistency, it's going to be very hard for you to heal your attachment wounds with this person, because you're going to repeat the circle, right? When you have an anxious attachment style, unconsciously, you put yourself in that situation of like, I need to earn my partner's trust. I'm craving the inconsistency. It's very unconscious. It's not necessarily logical, but we crave the inconsistency. If you're too transparent, it's going to be, I'm going to feel it's too easy and I don't want this. I'm attracted by in a form of chaos. So tell me in the comment section if you feel this relates to you. So it's important to really assess whether this relationship will help you move forward, will make you progress in your life. If it's not, walk away. You'll find someone else. Trust me. That's not a question of, sometimes we can't choose people we love. And if the person is avoidant, it's not the end of the world. What's important is how they are showing up. If you have any question, let me know. If you want some help or learn more, have a look in the description. And I'll see you next time. Take care.